Hello. I am recording, I think, the 7th video diary thingy. I just started because I was reminded about it and I wasn't even sure if I posted my previous one. And yeah, I've just been in this weird self-reflection, still in this like funk of feeling procrastinating, like not really thinking about it that much, not really like feeling urgent desire to do work, to like be productive, to work on myself, work on the business, work on even like my talk, work on like coaching or like developing my program thing, like and I went back and I watched my last video diary just really quick because I wasn't even sure if I posted it yet, so I was about to, and then I watched it and then I realized I like went back to my page and checked. I did upload it, but actually a lot of my videos were like not public this whole time. They were private this whole time, so that was really dumb of me. So they've just been like, I mean, this whole account has been like really hidden, but yeah, it's so stupid. And then I just like made them public just now, so this thing is like hidden but like not supposed to be hidden. It's just I'm not like disseminating it to like my people. I'm just putting it in a space where it could be accessed, but I'm not telling anybody. Anyway, I'm feeling anxious still. I've realized that there's still like anxiety there, and I feel like it would be helpful for me. There's some desire for me to like explore that. I'm being a little bit more intentional. In my procrastinating fog, I found, or I didn't really find, but I remembered that I had like an Amanda Frances course that I purchased about like branding and like showing up and I don't know what it's like, kind of, it's like how to be a like, I guess, how to be a brand and how to um I guess market yourself. It's kind of like that type of business course, and I got it a long time ago, and I never finished like consuming the content of it, and then I started watching it again. And she has journal prompts in it, and just her energy and her vibe. Like Amanda Frances and Simone Gray Soul are my two role models, like vibrational, energetic role models that I really like and look up to and just like learn the most from. I don't really keep up with like the most popular or like the biggest life coaches out there. They just like, I somehow found Simone. She came into my sphere, and then Amanda Frances, she was like introduced to me from like another person. And yeah, I'm really just like happy with what I'm learning from them, and I feel like I get a lot of like inspiration and just like learning just from seeing how they work, seeing how they present themselves, how they express themselves, how they teach, how they show up online, how every piece of their content is just like really high value, just to witness how they exist and carry themselves. And yeah, everything is like really educational, just to just like see how they talk, see how they talk about things that are important to them. And that is in itself like, that's the thing that like I am aspiring to do and be. So I'm like really trying to like see that as a model. And so watching the content from her course made me remember like, oh, like I need, that's like something I want to work up to, just so like seeing that and like obviously learning from her the material is important too, but just like being reminded like there's a purpose here. Like I have a purpose here. And something that also came up for me was I need to remember to stop putting the pressure on myself, because when I put the pressure on myself and I start thinking in like, it's like I don't even like outwardly say, oh, I should do this or I should do that and I should be working on this. Like I don't force myself to, but it's like a feeling. And I think that's like the weird part for me, because I have feelings. I'm very like oh, I could just feel like good and then I'll do something, or I'll just feel like not that good about it and then I won't do something. And I'm like really sensitive to those things unless I know that I'm like beholden to somebody or beholden to like a job, like a day job, or like my parents, or you know, someone that I really respect and I don't want to disappoint. Like there's no urgency otherwise. Like I'm otherwise like really just listening to this like internal feeling of my body saying that's not a nice feeling, or that's like, okay, that's a familiar good feeling. And I really been not intentional with like recognizing that like the not good feeling is not the thing that I should be like letting I shouldn't be letting that stop me from doing these things. And I mean, I've been saying this like in how many videos, like every video pretty much. But yeah, it just, I want to remind myself to let go, I guess. Yeah, let go of this like shame and this guilt. Like when I really dig into it and really look into like what is stopping me from doing these things, these things that I know is going to give me this life, this like really cool life where I get to like have like a career where I'm doing like really important work that I love, that I'm helping a lot of people with what I know, and just like being myself, like being really true to myself, showing like my authentic self. Like that is this thing that I really, really want. So what's stopping me from doing that? And when I think about that, it feels like I don't really want it. And I like just flat out, there must be a reason why I don't really want it. Not that like I don't want it enough. I'm not shaming myself that I don't want it enough. I feel like there's, when I go deeper, what I really actually don't want is, I don't want to be at like this like big business thing that I have like no capacity for. Like I don't want to work that much. Like that's the honest truth. Like I can't imagine myself working really hard or like managing a big business where I'm working with a lot of people. Like I don't know what that's like yet. So that part, when I'm like really honest with myself, like that isn't something that I want. There's this idea like far away that sounds cool, but like right now, I can't want that yet. So I'm thinking about like what makes more sense right now. What do I want right now? What sounds fun and like easy, like gentle on my nervous system, and like sounds like I could like really do something that I could really get behind. And when I think about that, that would just be like the step one to get me to that like next level, like way far down the line where I'm like, you know, making a bunch of money and I got this like amazing, like super cool life that I built from the ground up. Like, yeah, that's like down the line. That's like for sure down like years into it. But I'm like forgetting that, like, or not, I didn't even forget, like, I didn't think about, I didn't know, because this is like the first time I'm like trying to do business, be an entrepreneur, have my own thing. Like, I didn't know that I need to think about like this step, this phase. What is the thing for this step, this phase? And that would really be like the small thing that I do right now. And that could be something like, I mean, for example, it would be maybe just like coaching one-on-one, like Facebook group stuff, going live, like, and specifically something that's actually sounds like I could actually get behind if I could just like say at the top of my head. Like, I really like just talking. Okay, Chris has been calling me, so I better get this phone call. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Yeah. If I really ask myself or like investigate what that feeling was, like, do I really want this thing, or like, why can't, like, what's stopping me from doing these things that I have like a slight desire or like idea around doing, like working on my course or like getting coaching clients or being visible on social media. Like, what is stopping me? What is that? What do I feel about that? Like, I don't really ask myself those questions like up front. And when I make the parallel between like how I do things in business versus how I do things in my love life, like business, I'm really, really new at. In my love life, I'm really, really expert at, I would say. Like, I've been in a lot of situations and I've had a lot of experience in relationships. Like, many, many years of experience doing relationships and being really bad at relationships and having a lot of hours under my belt of just like being in bad relationships or just like being in relationships and figuring things out, and it really just like being a mess, me being a mess in it, not knowing. Yeah, I was just really bad at relationships for a long time until years and years and years until I figured it out, I guess. I got better and better at it. And actually, I was just bad at it. I didn't really know that I was really not good at it. I was like getting a little bit better at certain things, I guess, but it wasn't like a full wholeness until I really broke up with my last boyfriend before Chris. And yeah, wholeness is where it's at. Wholeness is the thing. Like, my relationship life, my love life finally started to work, like, and like get good. Like, I was good when I finally understood wholeness in myself and became responsible for my internal experience and became responsible for the life that I wanted, like that I really, really wanted, like what I wanted my life to be on a day-to-day basis, like what kind of experience that I really want to have, having come out of like a really shitty toxic relationship, really shitty experience where I was just like miserable beyond miserable. My soul was dying. I was like a husk of a person. Like, I was not who I wanted to be. I was like just so heartbroken about the person that I became when I was in that relationship. And yeah, it was really like a rock bottom type of moment that made me like completely 180. I was just like, never again. And yeah, I don't have a rock bottom moment with like business right now. It's or like with my life right now. It's this weird like things are actually like fucking chill, like great by most standards. I'm just not living like my most exciting, great, beautiful, joyful, like my best life. This is like a good life. And that's like the weird thing. Like, oh my God, that's making me think of like being in a day job, like working, like having a really simple, straightforward, conventional life, living in America, corporate America. You just have a job, day job, you work, and then you come home and, get some groceries, you cook, and spend time with my partner, and rinse and repeat. Go to work 5 days a week, have a couple of hours to spend with my partner, have some lifestyle things in there, relationship things in there. And then on the weekends, you have like, a little bit of time with friends and family. And then that's like your whole fucking life. And that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just really like it's laid out for you. It's like predictable, like year after year after year. It's like it would be the same thing with like very like incremental changes here and there. And a lot of people are struggling in that type of life because living in the United States is fucking stressful, and you're not making that much money unless you are. Like, if you're making a shit ton of money in the United States, good for you. You're probably having a good time. But if you're not, it's fucking stressful, and it's rough. Things are just really expensive. And yeah, the stability of a paycheck is like so like comforting to have versus like giving that up and figuring it out on your own, where your earning potential could grow to, the sky's the limit if you are building your own thing. But building your own thing, if you've never done that, it's fucking hard. And I can only speak from experience, but I don't think any business person will ever lie to you about, oh yeah, it's easy, unless they're fucking selling you something. And yeah, that it's the allure of like being in that comfort zone. I was so there. I was like, I had this dream in my heart where I thought that like the life that I wanted, this like magical ideal, like entrepreneurial life. I get to like make my own schedule and make a bunch of money and do this and that. I don't have to like work on a like be work for another boss, another person, go into the office. I could work from anywhere. Like all of these like cool things, like qualities that make it sound really attractive. Like that's is it I was sold on that, just like how I think a lot of people are sold the American dream, where you could just, work really hard, get a job, work really hard, make your way up, and you can make it. You could, eventually buy a house, and, you get married, you have a family, and life's good. But yeah, they're just like two different stories where it's not the whole fucking reality. It's like now in America, it's not really a thing to just like get a job and work your way up. You have to like grind like fucking hell to afford a house. That's like not possible, not realistically possible for a lot of people. Yeah. And then the whole entrepreneurial thing, like there's so much fucking like internal work that needs to happen to be able to make it as a business person. And you don't learn it. you just do it. You learn by doing. And yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. I gotta say, I don't want to give up. I'm really stubborn, and I am still trying to figure out my way of doing it, because I know there's like a way for me to do it. Like, that's something that I'm believing in. And I know it's like I'm really far away from my like end vision goal, and I'm still like working it out. And I'm like, just by doing these video diaries, I'm really just trying to be in this process, because I know that it's a long road, and I am reminding myself to like, you know, be easy on myself, as easy as I want to allow myself, because I know, like, this is just like cognitive theory, and just like the truth, like the real truth is that putting pressure and like shaming myself for not being more of something, doing more of something, just not, you know, being good enough, or raking in a bunch of money right now, like not being there yet, and feeling bad about that, feeling bad about myself, and just like bad about my situation, that ain't it. That is never gonna get me to where I want to go. The only way I could really like allow myself to grow, and allow myself to move forward, and allow myself to really like expand my capacity like it's funny to like use these terms, because these are all terms that I've like learned from all my other coaches, but it really is like you can't do more than you are like what you have. It's almost like a skill. It's almost like what your body is capable to do. Like, yeah, it's like a nervous system thing. It's like a mental inner work thing. And I still need to do the scary thing anyway. And that's never like, that's still waiting for me. And I'm still waiting for myself to do that. Like, I say it like that, but I know I just need to do it. But what's my thought on that? Where am I going with this? Yeah, I think I just want to remind myself that it's okay. Like, that phrase is something that I really remember saying to myself in the period of time when I started dating Chris, my now husband. And that was when I like really was at a place where I felt like the most whole. Like, I really was in like my best life mode, like during quarantine, like shelter at home. Like, I was just working at home. There was like nothing open. Like, everyone was stuck at home. I had like no FOMO, because obviously nothing was happening. So I was just like focusing on myself, and I was like just reveling in my solitude, because I was like just being really health conscious. I was just cooking a bunch of healthy meals, and then exercising a lot, and then just like doing a lot of like online socializing. and just like being really vocal about like my experiences on like Facebook, on my social media. And it just felt like it was like a beautiful time for me where I was like really integrating all of these things that were happening to me and just like learning and being grateful. Like I was really grateful. Oh, there's my cat. I was like really grateful for what had happened and where and how I got to that point. So that is what I feel like I need to do now. Even though I'm like really at the beginning, like everything that's happened isn't just like when I just started. My cat is really distracting me. She's trying to leave. I'm gonna go help her out. Yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting how I can remember exactly what I was doing during that period when I was just like culminating all a lot. I was like integrating a lot and I was just like really I I felt like I made it. I was at that like stage in my spiritual journey, spiritual growth, where I was in like the narcissistic phase where I thought like I was like I love myself. I'm like so fucking happy and like I had all this like emotional control of myself. I don't let things have bother me. I like accepted all of my shit and whatnot so that I could just be happy with where I was and like really enjoy my life. I was like enjoying my life a lot being single because not that long ago I was in a really miserable state in a miserable relationship. So the stark contrast made me appreciate it a lot. And I genuinely was really happy to be like by myself in charge and in control of my life. I felt like everything that I had created was like mine. I created it with my like own two hands. It was the life that I made for myself and it wasn't like amazing or anything. I was living in a really like kind of like a lower income area, kind of like a sketchy area-ish. It wasn't like super dangerous or anything. Not that I felt like it was dangerous, but it was kind of a sketchy area and my apartment wasn't amazing, but it was good enough and it was comfortable for me, comfortable enough, and it was mine. It was just my all that whole apartment. I had my own studio apartment to myself, and yeah, I like escaped like two really fucking horrible, awful, stressful, unhappy situations with my relationship with my ex and then like my housing situation. That was really fucking awful, stressful. The kitchen situation was really fucking annoying to me. My bedroom was pretty dope, but using the kitchen which I really need to have a kitchen that's nice that has like space and like sharing it with a bunch of other people when it's like really tiny and cramped and the fucking sink is like always gross and that was it drove me crazy. So yeah, the contrast, it's like the contrast that really makes you like feel fucking alive when you feel like you like escaped something so bad and you declare to yourself like never fucking again, like 180. I'm like running so fucking far away from that. I'm gonna do everything I can to not have that experience again because it's like so fresh in my mind and in like my body, the experience of like living that and being really like clear on like that was shit. Anything that's not that isn't shit. Like, and that makes me happy. So I was like really happy to like have anything that was not that. And then I made it what I did want. Like I became like that much more grateful and thankful for what I made it, because it was what I wanted. It was enough. And I am learning that like I could like draw these parallels, and I'm now wanting to do that same type of like energy, like be in that energetic space, so that I could like do the thing from like how I was with my relationship, to like create and like manifest, I guess, like my next level. It really was like feeling into like a lot of gratitude and like appreciation and love for where I've been, and love for what I have now, what I'm creating now. And yeah, it feels, I mean, it really is not comparable, because in my relationship, or yeah, I would say that's like my love life thing and living situation thing that like made me feel like what I had created, or like after escaping that, made me feel like I was able to access a lot more gratitude. Right now, what I have and what I previously had, like it almost feels like what I had previous to this was like something I feel kind of remorseful for leaving behind. Like there's a part of me that like actually really misses the simple life, the conventional life, even though it was, you know, not much. It wasn't anything amazing or special. It was, I even like think of my life before marrying Chris, like that life, that simple life where I was just living in my what do you call it, the studio apartment just by myself. Like that was when I was like in full control of like my space, my time, my hobbies, like what I ate, and all of that was mine. I created that. It felt really like precious to me. And then when me and Chris decided we should get married so that we could save money, so that we could move in together, so we could save money, so that we could do this like whole expedition of traveling the world, like I was like, okay, traveling the world sounds cool, but like the whole moving in together and like leaving what I had behind, yeah, that was hard. And I didn't really express it at the time, because I was just so crazy about Chris. Like I was so crazy about the relationship working. I always do this. I always think that like it's the relationship that I like focus so much on, instead of like, is this really what I want? And I made a call, and I got behind it, and we ended up doing the travel thing, and I got to travel to 16 different countries, and that's not like horrible. Like for me to like not be grateful for that is insane. But yeah, to compare what my life is now to like what it was previously, like all of that was always good. None of that was something that I actually wanted to like leave behind. And I guess a part of me feels like it's hard to let that go. hard for me to say I want something else. Part of me liked that. And yeah. And to that, I have to have like compassion for. And I really didn't express it at the time. Like I said, like how much I really, really just cherished my solitude, my independence, my own space. Like I couldn't really get myself to not be on board with Chris's whole plan. Like I wanted the relationship. I wanted to be with Chris. I wanted all of that. So it's either I go with the plan or I don't. Like I didn't think of any other way of doing that. So yeah, I had to give up on having a separate living situation forever, it seems like, because I'm married now and married couples usually live together and we can't financially live in separate places. Chris is definitely not going to agree about living in separate places. At least we have 2 separate rooms where we work separately, and our apartment right now is really spacious, so that definitely helps me with like my sense of like boundaries and space. And even lately, he's actually been traveling a lot. He's actually like just going out a lot and doing things with his family and friends. So I actually am getting a lot of space. But my sense of independence has been really fucked up because I haven't been making my own money. And because I haven't been making my own money, it makes me feel really weird and guilty to use it was mostly like Chris's money, but Chris's money became like our money, and then our money got spent up, and then we're spending like loan money now. And that is really weird for me. Like, I would not allow myself, if I were a single person, to get to that type of situation. Like, that just sounds crazy to me, that I would have to live off of a loan. Like, I would have to make money to pay off a loan. Like, why wouldn't I just be like working? Like, just get a normal job and just like fucking like start creating income so I'm not using borrowed money. And yeah, but being married, there's so many decisions that like it just kind of feels like Chris is taking care of me and I get to coast, and it's like a really weird way of living now. And if I were to be honest, this is really feeling like a therapy session for me right now. If I were to be honest about that, that makes me feel, well, first of all, not good. That makes me feel not proud. Yeah, there's like this idea that I don't like being a dependent, even though, you know, Chris is doing this really willfully and happily. He has no like resentment about any of this. He does have a concern about our financial situation, our financial future. But he doesn't think any less of me, but I think he might be I don't know. I trust him. Like, the thing that we did make an agreement on is that if I'm not making money by the end of the year, then I just got to get a job. Like, that was the deadline. And yeah, I got a month left. And that is still the timeline. And I still trust myself that when the end of the year happens, part of me feels like that's just gonna, like, either that's gonna happen and I'm just waiting for that to happen. I'm just like waiting for myself to like get a job, which is weird for me to like have to wait. Like, if I want to work, I should just look for a job now. But if I don't want to work, then I could just relax and just enjoy this time. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so many things coming up. Like, I've been enjoying this time like since June 2022 till now, November 2023, enjoying my time. And there's definitely guilt and shame about that. Like, I was not raised to enjoy my time for that long, to have fun for that long, to not work for that long. Like, and like I was supposed to be working on like my entrepreneurial stuff and like my own business, and like that is I want to say it's like moving at like snail speed, and even saying that is making me feel like shame. Like, is it really, am I really doing anything? Like, I'm feeling those feelings. It feels like I'm not doing anything because I'm not taking action. And yeah, it feels like I have this idea that if I'm not taking action, then nothing is happening. Like, not enough is happening. And to be honest with myself, like, the reality is big action needs to be taken for things to grow, for myself to really learn from and improve and move the business forward, move myself forward. But at the same time, I know that there are like ideas and things happening internally for me that need to happen really slowly anyway. And I want to let go of the shame. Like, I just want to allow it to be what it is, because I know that is a big part of it. Like, the more I could just be okay with, you know, feeling embarrassed, or like feeling like I don't know what I'm doing, feeling like I'm really bad at this, like, the more I could just like accept all that I'm feeling and then still do what I want anyway. Or what's even better is get behind the thing that I just can do. Yeah, like, it almost feels hard to like find something that I like want to do. Yeah, maybe the vibe is just get behind something that I can do. And the thing that I can do is the thing that I could get better at. And yeah, there's that. And there's also like, I can't get better at something unless I just do it and make a fucking mess of it. Yeah, but I think there's a big thing, like, it has to be something that I think really would feel is fun. Fun in that, like, I could do it. Like, I could do it. It's still scary, but like, you know, I I could do it because I know that I would be good at it. This feels so weird for me to say it out loud because I'm when I'm hearing what I'm saying, it's like I'm just still doing the thing where I'm like avoiding feeling bad about being bad at something. I'm like trying really hard to like weave around doing difficult things, doing things that I'm just like not gonna be amazing at. Like I have to really like hunt around for the thing that I would be like really good at, and then I would just do the thing that I'm good at, not even like touching the things that I'm like not great at. When I okay, do I really need to do the things that I'm not great at? Okay, I'm channeling something. I'm reminding myself of what Amanda Frances says, and it doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easier and easier. So I think the thing is, I have to just decide. I have to just decide that what I'm gonna do is the thing, gonna be the thing for me, and is the thing that I'm going to like keep on doing, and is the thing that I'm gonna keep on showing up for. And yeah, it doesn't have to be something that I like fucking kill myself over and like contort myself to do. Like, yeah, I am really like dying over like killing myself about like thinking it needs to be something and I need to be something, and I keep on going like having that thought and having that feeling. And I know because I've thought about this many times. I've like had this pattern many times where I realize like it's not, I should never have to, it should never be about forcing myself to be a certain way, forcing myself to show up or do something that like my nervous system, my body really is just like rejecting, is really just saying no, fuck no to that. Like there's something that I'm good at, that I want to do, that I that I could get behind. And that should be the thing that I do. Like this. I know that I really like talking. Talking about myself and talking about my feelings, and like I could do this. I could do this for a long time. And talking to people, responding to people, and answering questions, like that's something that I could do. I would love doing that more. My voice is like dying. I'm like really dry right now. But yeah, I feel like I would like to make that my thing. And I need to figure out how to do more of that. And I don't want to make it hard. I should just show up like on Instagram and do it. And okay, so if that's really the vibe, what is stopping me from doing it? Like not knowing what to talk about. So yeah, there's like the idea of going just like pressing live on Instagram sounds like I'd be walking onto like a empty stage when no one's watching. And it's really awkward because I did that before and that was weird. So not to say that's wrong. I shouldn't just stop doing that. I feel like there's a growth curve, definitely. If I do that more, it would eventually become a better experience. But I also feel like growing the Facebook group that I mentioned in the previous video diary, like That could be a place where it feels like I make it a small community. It's like a community for this designated thing. When it feels like it's designated, that to me, in my body, in my nervous system, it feels like, okay, this is a safe place for this. This is like designated, kind of like how I feel like when I meet new friends and I could like establish the friendship, establish like the connection, establish the standing, like where I stand with this person, how I feel about this person, and how it feels like this person feels about me. Like when that's all there, it feels like congruent. It feels good and safe, and I understand what like the role is, my role is, like what people are here for, what I could give, and that all makes sense. Then it just feels like boom, straight shot, easy. I get to show up and people know what they're getting. People come into the space knowing what they're gonna get, and they're open for it, and they could come and go as they choose. As so yeah, I really feel like the Facebook thing, group thing, will be a place for me to grow in. I just need to make it, and then I need to get people to join it somehow, but hopefully it just grows on its own. I don't really know how Facebook groups really work, but yeah. Huh, cool. Okay, I'm getting really like hoarse, and that was kind of long, so I'm going to end that there. Yeah, thanks for watching.